Each leap is a stopping point on a way to this endpoint.
So he's not coming home anytime soon.
We're in the 1970s.
I'm a boxer whose title shot is tomorrow.
He looks like he wants to kill you.
Not helping.
Sorry.
What if I lose?
And you never get home.
You will be champion tomorrow.
Something's wrong.
Step aside.
I don't think this is just about winning a fight.
Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Nick Kroll, NBC Tonight.
On our broadcast tonight, Senator Ron Johnson wants voters to choose the fate of abortion. We'll break down what this means for the current ban in place. Plus, we're learning new information in the Darrell Brooks trial. We'll explain what changes the state approved. And a trail closure in the UP is impacting tourism. Your local news starts right now.
Your local news and weather from where you live. News Watch 12 at 10 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch 12 at 10. I'm Jessica Jukic. The man accused of killing 6 people and injuring dozens of others during the Waukesha Christmas parade will represent himself. Today, the state of Wisconsin allowed Darrell Brooks to represent himself during trial. The state is also objecting to a delay in the trial if Brooks requests it. Last week, Brooks got rid of his legal team, and his trial is set to begin on Monday. Temperatures are dropping throughout the Northwoods. Meteorologist Conrad Sapinski joins us with what we can expect throughout the week. Conrad?
Yeah, Jessica, it was a pretty rainy day today. We did have some mostly cloudy skies outside, but the main topic is the temperatures. Right now, not looking too bad. We do have a couple of scattered showers just south of Rhinelander, but that's going to continue overnight tonight. So if you do get hit by a shower, it's not going to be a long-lasting shower, but still something to worry about. Temperatures earlier today were chilly. We only reached 54 in Rhinelander, 55 in Eagle River. So all across the state, we had well below average temperatures. Our average is supposed to be closer to 65 in the Northwoods, so nowhere near that earlier today. And look at these temperatures right now, a little past 10 p.m., 43 in Rhinelander, 39 in Tomahawk. So we are starting to cool down right now, and that's why we have some frost advisories out until 9 a.m. tomorrow in the locations in the blue. Tonight, temperatures will really cool off as we cool down into the mid-30s. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. The Justice Department has submitted a slightly revised inventory of materials that were seized in the search of former President Trump's Florida home. The updated inventory submission is part of the special master review of the Mar-a-Lago materials. The DOJ also submitted an FBI affidavit indicating the new inventory fully reflects what was seized. The special master asked for the affidavit after Trump suggested without evidence that the FBI may have planted items during the search. An agent quoted in the affidavit says inventory changes were minor. By Friday, Trump must give the special master descriptions of seized items he claims are missing from the inventory or items he says were not on the premises. Last week, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers voiced his support for a statewide referendum to decide the legality of abortion. Republican state legislators largely rejected that idea, but now he has an unlikely ally at the federal level. Today, Republican Senator Ron Johnson told WJFW that he also supports the idea of a statewide referendum. Johnson wants voters to decide on that statewide referendum. He would encourage state leaders to create a single-issue referendum process, saying the people should decide on the profound moral issue.
The basic question that needs to be decided is, at what point does society have the responsibility to protect life in the womb? That's, again, trying to balance the rights of a mother with the rights of an unborn child. At what point is it society's responsibility to protect that life? But I want we, the people, to decide that in referendum.
Senator Johnson may release a sample ballot of what he thinks the referendum question should be, but said the point is to decide when abortions would be allowed during a pregnancy.
The consensus may not be exactly where I would land, but that's okay. I would, like the rest of my Wisconsinites, I'd have one vote to decide that. And I think that's the best way of putting this issue behind us, deciding it once and for all, so we can move on and start dealing with the far more, so many additional problems that do face this nation.
Democratic Governor Tony Evers is calling for an abortion ballot referendum as well, but Republican leaders in the state legislature have rejected that idea. Currently, Wisconsin bans abortion because of a pre-Civil War law. Wisconsin House Speaker Robin Vos has filed a lawsuit against the House January 6th committee after being subpoenaed over the weekend to testify. Vos asked federal judge in Wisconsin to block the subpoena, which called for him to testify this morning, just 2 days before the committee's next public hearing. However, Vos did not appear before the committee Monday after his attorney spoke with the panel and the House received copies of his court challenge. Vos says the committee wants to question him about a conversation he had with former President Donald Trump this July after the state courts blocked the use of some absentee ballot drop boxes. Trump, quote, requested Speaker Vos take further action. Vos argued the subpoena falls outside the scope of the committee's investigation into the Capitol attack. The January 6th committee will hold another public hearing this week. The Professional Firefighters of Wisconsin Union is endorsing Attorney General Josh Kaul. The labor union says they're counting on Kaul to put public safety first and foremost ahead of partisan politics and special interests. Kaul is running for re-election and says public safety is his top priority. In 2021, Kaul determined Wisconsin's building code requirements for sprinkler systems and multifamily dwellings were enforceable. Complaints against Wisconsin's nursing homes are surging as they deal with the nursing shortage. The State Department of Health Services says Wisconsin nursing homes received more than 1,500 complaints this year. This amounts to 190 new complaints every month. The state's also struggling to find nursing home inspectors. Wisconsin's dealing with staffing shortages from the pandemic and an inspection backlog. State officials are working to fix the issue by contracting with 2 private companies to inspect nursing homes and that have complaints lodged against them. The University of Wisconsin system is seeing the highest number of new enrollments since before the COVID-19 pandemic seized the state. System officials released preliminary estimates last week that showed more than 26,000 first-year students, including freshmen and first-year transfers, were enrolled as of the first day of classes this fall. That's higher than the last 4 years. Overall enrollment, however, is down 1%. The system has seen overall enrollment drop in recent years potentially due to fewer high school graduates and the uncertainty created by the pandemic. According to system data, 2010 saw more than 180,000 students enrolled with UW on the first day of fall classes. That's the most of any year between 2007 and 2021. Snowmobiling generates billions of dollars in revenue across the country. A piece of that goes to northern Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula. But after a resort owner shut off access to the property, that piece could be a little smaller this year. This map shows where the snowmobile trail could be lost in the UP. Steve Hamilton is the president of the Gogabic Range Trail Authority, and a group that maintains the advocates for recreational opportunities. He said there's no easy solution to connecting the trails, and he thinks that wasn't properly communicated to the resort owner initially. But now the Resort and Trail Authority are working together.
Snow River, they're being very, very vocal and supportive, trying to work with us. So, you know, it's very important for us to share that message because it is a teamwork here, and we're still going forward.
Losing the trail at Snow River could have a huge impact. As it stands right now, there's no other way to snowmobile from the town of Bessemer and Ironwood to the rest of the UP without going into Wisconsin. Hamilton says he's optimistic there will be a solution before the season starts and encourages people to voice their support for snowmobiling in a positive way.
You know, we are leading this fight for snowmobilers everywhere here in the Midwest, and it would really help if everybody could show positive support and show positive impact statements on, you know, what this trail closure means to them, their family, and their business.
Hamilton says he looks forward to continuing the discussion with Snow River Resort. Adding the trails at Snow River property are some of the best in the area. Continuing a recent climb in registrations, Wisconsin is now home to 472,000 all-terrain and utility vehicles, according to state authorities. That's about 5,000 more than last year when we had about 332,000 ATVs and 135,000 UTVs registered in the state. Alcohol is a common concern when it comes to illegal ATV and UTV use. This year, state authorities have counted 12 deadly accidents with the vehicles, and a third of those accidents involved alcohol. All-terrain and utility drivers born after 1988 who are at least 12 years old for ATVs and at least 16 years old for UTVs must take a safety course under the state law. President Biden's cracking down on airline fees. Coming up, we'll break down the changes that could be coming to the travel industry. That's after weather right here on Newswatch 12.
Prices are going up on groceries. They're going up at the gas station. The only ones profiting are oil companies, big corporations, China, and Ron Johnson. Johnson makes money from investments in factories in China. No wonder Johnson's net worth has doubled since he's been in Washington. Even worse, Johnson's allowed oil and drug companies to jack up prices on us. He takes all that money from them. Ron Johnson profits, we pay the price. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Are you suffering from plantar fasciitis or heel pain? The Family Foot and Ankle Clinic staff can treat your issues conservatively or with state-of-the-art surgical techniques. We are highly trained in the latest treatments and procedures to get you back on your feet as quickly as possible. Most surgical intervention is done on an outpatient basis. So don't wait. See how Family Foot and Ankle Clinic can help make your life enjoyable again. Call our office today to schedule your visit at any of our convenient locations.
Happy Monday, but get ready. It's going to get cold. Yes, temperatures are going to continue to plummet tonight, and then same thing for tomorrow. Get ready. Frost advisories have been issued already until 9 a.m. tomorrow, and that is for locations in the blue. So not everybody is going to have those frost advisories because some locations actually have some freeze warnings where temperatures will be in the 20s. In Wisconsin, though, just frost advisories. That means low to mid 30s outside, and then locations that don't have those frost advisories, it's going to be a little bit more cloudy, and the air is not going to be cooling down as much. Right now, though, 10 p.m. temperatures are cool in the 30s, 40s as well. They're 43 in Rhinelander right now, 42 in Eagle River, 44 in Land O'Lakes. But take a look at Tomahawk, just south of Rhinelander. 30s are starting to show up, so it's getting cold. Bring out those jackets because we will need them, especially during the day tomorrow. So it's not only going to be a cold start to the morning, but temperatures tomorrow are only going to reach those mid-40s. Yes, high temperatures, 47 degrees. A little bit warmer by Wednesday, 55, 56 actually on Wednesday, but 60s starting Thursday. And look at Saturday, 69 degrees, close to 70 degrees. So a warmer temperature trend is on the way. Besides tomorrow and Wednesday, where temperatures will be on the cooler end. So get ready. Right now outside, though, few passing clouds. Most of that rain has moved on out of the region, but we will continue to get some scattered showers overnight tonight. And then for the early part of the day tomorrow, because this low is massive. Take a look at this counterclockwise rotation, spinning all the way from Canada, from Maine even, to Wisconsin. So even a couple of scattered showers still lingering in the Midwest and upper Midwest, but not for long. Tonight, though, scattered showers, it will be very light if you do get hit by a couple of showers. And then pretty much for the day tomorrow, the first half will have some chances of scattered showers. But look what happens later on. We'll have lots of sunshine. Clouds will start to break up. And temperatures not really going to be warming up they will continue to be well below average. Now a whole 180. Let me mention Hurricane Ian right now, 105-mile-an-hour hurricane right now, a Category 2, but it will very, very shortly become a major Category 3, then a Category 4 hurricane. So it will be hitting Florida, anywhere approximately Tampa area. But even if you are well south of Tampa, it still will be pretty bad. So if you have any vacations planned or family members out there, please warn them, because that will be an issue the next 3 days. Here in Wisconsin tonight, though, temperatures well below average in the mid-30s, so frost will be an issue. Here in Rhinelander, though, mostly cloudy with a couple of scattered showers. Tomorrow, though, really chilly temperatures in those mid-40s with some mostly cloudy skies, a couple of showers lingering, especially early in the day. And our 7-day outlook, brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, does show a warm-up on the way. By next weekend, temperatures close to 70 degrees. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. President Biden has announced new rules to require airlines and travel sites to be more transparent about the fees they charge. Under the proposed rules, airlines and travel sites would have to disclose upfront any fees charged to sit with your child, to change or cancel your flight, and for checked or carry-on baggage. Biden's comments came today during a meeting of the White House Competition Council. They're charged with promoting competition across the U.S. economy and lowering costs for American families.
Taking your family somewhere in a situation where, you know, they cancel on you and you have to pay a fee to rebook. Come on, man. No, really, it's just simply not fair.
President Biden said the group was also looking at lowering or eliminating bank overdraft fees and cell phone carrier termination fees. Every year in the U.S., as many as 60 million people suffer from symptoms of seasonal allergies. This time of the year, ragweed and molds are typically out in full force and can wreak havoc on your health. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how to recognize when you're suffering from fall allergies and tips on how to deal with them.
It's officially fall. That means color-changing leaves, pumpkins, and apple picking, but also seasonal allergies.
Patients will think that they have colds, but the thing about these colds are they are every single year.
Dr. Sandra Hong, an allergist at Cleveland Clinic, says that's one way to know you're dealing with allergies. You can also tell by common symptoms, including a stuffy or runny nose, itchiness, watery eyes, and sneezing.
It happens for more than a couple weeks. It'll go on for seasons at a time.
Dealing with allergies may start with your pet, especially if they go outside.
If you are sleeping with them, you are basically sleeping with some weeds that are outdoors. So I usually ask my patients to keep the pets out of their bedroom, especially during their really big times of the year.
Hong says there are 3 ways to ease allergies, including over-the-counter treatments like nasal spray and antihistamines. An allergy shot can help, and Hong says you can also avoid what triggers symptoms.
Make sure their windows are closed and don't dry any clothing outside, and make sure that when they come in, they take a shower or they wash their hair if they can to get all of that pollen off of them.
If none of this works for you, Hong says go see an allergist because there are other therapies that can be used. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Coming up on Newswatch 12, Serenity Douglas will be in to break down the final homestretch for the Brewers. We'll hear what manager Craig Counsell has to say.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
Violent crime up across Wisconsin. Families nervous about their safety. Yet Mandela Barnes called for releasing half of Wisconsin's jailed inmates. That would mean releasing over 10,000 criminals right into our neighborhoods. 10,000 reasons your family would be in more danger. Barnes also supported defunding the police. 10,000 more criminals with fewer police to protect us. What could go wrong? Wisconsin Truth Bank is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
Prices are going up on groceries. They're going up at the gas station. The only ones profiting are oil companies, big corporations, China, and Ron Johnson. Johnson makes money from investments in factories in China. No wonder Johnson's net worth has doubled since he's been in Washington. Even worse, Johnson's allowed oil and drug companies to jack up prices on us. He takes all that money from them. Ron Johnson profits, we pay the price. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
At Family Foot and Ankle, our practice focuses on foot and ankle care for the entire family. We provide routine foot care such as nail and callus trimming, wound care, diabetic care, ulcer care, and more. Many of our services are often Medicare covered. Our first visit is covered by Medicare and involves a detailed podiatric history and physical examination. We'll provide care and set you up for the future. Call our office today to schedule your visit at any of our convenient locations.
Coming up on your Tuesday, we're joined by Nurse Christina Paris for Nursing the North.
All righty, and a few more rain showers possible as we head towards a Tuesday, then a hard freeze possible Tuesday night. More when you tune in on your Tuesday edition of the show.
Sports Watch 12 starts now.
The Brewers played a good road series against the Cincinnati Reds, winning 3 out of the 4 games. However, Milwaukee has very little room for error going forward. The Crew is 1.5 games back from the 3rd wild card spot, with 9 games remaining in the regular season. Brewers manager Craig Counsell says this series against the Reds has given them a fighting chance to make the playoffs.
You know, we bought ourselves, days into the homestand, too. So we're going to have to be good on the homestand. We're going to have to be really good. But we're capable of it. And the fact that they're at home is a good thing.
Here's a look at the wild card standings. Brewers need to make up a 1.5 game spot on the Phillies. Fortunately for the Crew, they are ending the series on a homestand. And the Phillies end the series on a road trip. The Brewers face off with the Cardinals tomorrow starting at 6:30. The Packers played a good game Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wasn't perfect, but they got the job done. They started strong, scoring 2 touchdowns in the first half. Rookie Romeo Doubs had a standout game with 8 receptions, 73 yards, and 1 touchdown. The Packers defense showed up, only allowing 285 yards and forcing 2 fumbles. Aaron Rodgers said after the game that he's happy where he is and where the team is at right now.
If you would have said in the offseason we'd be 2-1 after 3 with these 2 tough road games, I'd say that's probably pretty good, considering that you would expect Minnesota and Tampa Bay to be, in the top 7 teams at the end of the season. So I feel good about that.
The Packers will be playing the Patriots on Sunday. But what's interesting about that is New England is without their top quarterback. Mac Jones suffered an ankle injury against the Ravens. He will likely be replaced by longtime veteran Brian Hoyer. The Milwaukee Bucks could be without one of their stars to start the NBA season. Chris Middleton likely won't be ready for the regular season because of the left wrist surgery he underwent in the summer. Middleton spoke to reporters Sunday as part of the Bucks media day. While the small forward remained optimistic about the timetable for his injury, for now it looks like that will be shortly after the start of the regular season. Middleton averaged around 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in the 66-game series that he played last season. 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson announced his retirement from the full-time racing today. He says he wants to turn his focus into spending more time with his family, but he'll return to the racetrack for more when his 10 bucket list events. Johnson's 7 championships are tied for the most all time. In the past 2 years, Johnson switched from NASCAR to the Indy Series. Back to you, Jessica.
Under Governor Evers, hardworking Wisconsin families are being left behind. We're paying more for food, gas, everything. And Tony Evers tried to make us pay even more, a 20% gas tax increase, doubling the tax on home heating bills. And while Evers puts the squeeze on us, he wanted to give taxpayer-funded benefits to people who refuse to work. He even opposes drug testing welfare recipients. Tony Evers is leaving hard-working Wisconsin families behind.
The light at the end of the tunnel isn't shining so brightly for everyone. Families continue to fight for survival. Some jobs are gone forever. Bills pile up. But please know, you have not been forgotten. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Dear gas prices, Toyota's hybrid lineup says, go take a hike, because we bring efficiency with power and savings with style. Think you can stand in our way? We got this. Toyota Hybrids.
Get 2.49% APR for 48 months on any 2022 Toyota Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, or Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Ron Johnson's at it again, lying about my taxes. Let's be clear. My taxes are paid in full. But there were times I was getting by on peanut butter sandwiches. And that's why I support a tax cut for the middle class. Put more money in your pockets. Because I know how hard you work. But Johnson used his tendency to write a loophole that gave huge tax cuts to himself and his biggest donors, leaving us with crumbs. And that's how we get left behind. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
ELM Repair in Edgar is a family-owned and operated full-service diesel repair shop. From pickups to semi-trucks to heavy equipment and RV service. If it runs on diesel, we can repair it. Want more power and better mileage? Our experienced professionals will get your truck running and at peak performance. With a state-of-the-art dyno and fully stocked parts department, we can even come out to you with our 24-hour mobile repair service. ELM is always looking for passionate and talented people to join our team. The Diesel Doctor. Have it done right the first time at ELM Repair.
Wisconsin is reporting its first case of West Nile virus. The Wisconsin Department of Health says the case was confirmed in Sheboygan County. West Nile spread through the bite of an infected mosquito. DHS says the best way to protect yourself is by using insect repellent with DEET. Also advise everyone to wear long sleeves, pants, and socks while spending time outside. A traditional teaching lodge near Mole Lake is now available for the Sakagan Chippewa tribal members. However, building the lodge wasn't only hard, it was actually used for teaching lessons for kids. Newswatch 12's Mohammed Abdul Kawi went to Crandon to learn more.
This is how our people used to live.
In late August, a group of Sakagan Chippewa tribal members opened a teaching lounge near Mole Lake.
This is the lodge that we built. Its design was for multiple purposes. We use these for fasting lodges, the design. We use them for sweat lodges. We use them for cultural Meday lodges.
Wayne Labine, the education director, says having a place where kids can have fun as well as learn about the past is critical.
Because it goes along with teaching the history of our tribe, the culture of our tribe, and actually it teaches kids about survival also.
While building the lodge only took a couple of hours, it was built primarily by the ones who will use it the most.
It's primarily for youth, and they were the ones that put their hands on it and actually went out and cut the maple saplings and bent them, stuck them in the ground and bent them over and tied and put it together.
Labine hopes that next year, the Sakagan Chippewa tribal members will be able to create an even bigger lodge for the community.
We want to make it bigger and use it throughout the spring, summer, and fall. We're probably going to make it anywhere from 50 to 60 feet long and probably 20 to 25 feet wide.
Reporting in Crandon, Mohammed Abdul Kawi, Newswatch 12.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward? Just for saving?
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $300 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book?
How to get a $300 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
Transform your bathroom today at Menards. Create your dream bathroom with Sterling tubs and showers that fit your style and budget. Like the Sterling Ensemble Shower. Its durable high-gloss finish provides lasting beauty. All Sterling tubs and showers are 11% off. Complete your renovation with our great selection of Moen faucets. The Moen Arliss faucet adds cool contemporary finishes, giving your bathroom a lifetime of elegance. Right now, all Moen faucets are 11% off.
Save big money at Menards.
At a company, the culture comes from the top. Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times over sexual assault and harassment in the workplace. Women who worked for Michaels' company said they were groped, assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses. Higher-ups at Michaels dismissed the women as liars and even fired those who spoke out. Is that what we need for Wisconsin? Tim Michaels, too radical, too divisive.
Joe Biden on Medicare for All.
It's going to raise taxes on middle-class people.
Medicare for All would double your income taxes, ban employer-provided and union health plans, and bankrupt Medicare for seniors. Mandela Barnes still supports Bernie Sanders' socialist takeover of your health care.
Medicare for All is the easiest way to get us to universal health care.
Mandela Barnes, more liberal than Joe Biden, way too liberal for Wisconsin.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Today, it seems everyone can be their own service technician thanks to the internet. From servicing their own cars and engines to home remodels and projects, people are trying a little of everything. Here at Maher Water Corporation, we employ nationally certified and factory-trained technicians to keep your water treatment systems working to their full lives. We will treat you like our own family.
So if you want us to service your equipment, give us a call. But if you're the fix-it-yourself kind of person, we'll enjoy your funny video clips.
Mostly cloudy skies outside, but we will have a couple of scattered showers overnight tonight, and then by the early part of the day tomorrow.